Blessings, family. I had a thought dropped into me yesterday as I was driving, and it's surrounding Matthew chapter 4, verses 18 through 21. And it reads, "One day as Jesus was walking along the shore of the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, also called Peter, and Andrew, throwing a net into the water, for they fish for a living. Jesus called out to them, 'Come, follow me, and I will show you how to fish for people.' And they left their nets at once and followed him. A little further up the shore, he saw two other brothers, James and John, sitting in a boat with their father, Zebedee, repairing their nets. And he called them to come too. They immediately followed him, leaving the boat and their father behind." Now, the thought was, giving Matthew's account, there are a lot of missing information with his account of what happened. Matthew and Mark records the exact same thing. It's not until we get into Luke where he records something different. And then John doesn't mention the boat at all. So just giving Matthew for a moment. Could you follow Christ without all the details? And what I mean by that, Matthew did not record that when Jesus was walking along the shore, he already had a crowd following him as depicted in Luke. He also didn't record that Jesus saw two boats, and as the crowds pressed in around him to hear the word of God, he stepped into the boat with Simon and Andrew, telling them to push off a little, sit down in the boat, and teach the crowds. He also didn't record that once Jesus was done teaching the crowds, he told Simon to push off into the deep, cast his net on the other side, and they brought in so many fish that their nets began to break. Then they signaled to the other boat coming to help, and they brought in so many fish that it filled both boats. He also didn't record that after they pulled the boats ashore, that's when Jesus called Simon and Andrew. Now, all this is in Luke. So my thought was, my question to you is, what if Matthew just didn't see what happened? Because we got to remember that Matthew was a tax collector. And tax collectors were not treated the best. They were scoffed at. They were treated badly. They were looked upon as if they sold out or betrayed their own people, helping the Romans to keep them oppressed via taxation. That's how tax collectors were treated. They were not able to go into the meeting places. They weren't able to go into the marketplace and hang out with everybody else because they were looked down upon by their own people. So that's just setting the tone. So he has to sit at a distance, and he's recording what he's seeing from a distance, from a poor vantage point. Now, you got a bunch of people crowding around Jesus to hear the word of God. So, to put it in context, let's say you see a big crowd of people, and unknown to you, there's a fight happening within the crowd. You are going over to see what all the commotion is about. When you get there, the fight is over. You see Buddy laid out, or you see someone helping Buddy up. You happen to stop Matthew and ask him what happened, and he gives you his depiction of what happened. It's missing information, but you don't know that. It's not until later on you run into Luke, who then begins to plug in the holes and the missing information that Matthew left out. So maybe he didn't leave out the information that Luke told us on purpose. What if he simply just didn't see it? What if by him being at a low vantage point, he had to be at a distance because of his occupation, because of his economical status, because of his reputation and his report with the people, seeing that he was a tax collector and he betrayed his people and helping the Romans keep them oppressed. What if that's why there's missing information? He simply didn't see. Now, to put it in our perspective, let's say you're at the beach, or no, scratch the beach. You're going about your everyday life, and you got your own life happening to you. I'm just going to use me. I have my issues with rejection. I have my issues with what they said about me. I had issues with how they treated me, the people who left, my own hurt, my own pain, my own issues. So now I miss the teaching of God. Now I miss the miraculous miracle that he performed in someone else's life. And now he's standing in front of me. And he's saying, come, follow me. Now, given Matthew's account, we're going only on Matthew. I didn't see what he did in their life. I didn't see the miracle. I didn't see him. I didn't see the lesson. I didn't see everything that happened because I'm blinded by my own issues. And now I'm faced with a decision. Do I follow Christ, which is the greatest invitation that we will ever receive in this lifetime? I heard Philip Anthony Mitchell say that. Great guy. Or do I stay in my current situation, in my current life, separated from God, still dealing with my issues, and decline his invitation? That is the question. That is the dilemma. I know most people would say that's clear, cut, and dry. Follow God. But we got to remember, we don't know who he is. Matthew didn't say he had a following. Matthew didn't say he was well known. Matthew didn't even say that people liked him or knew who he was. Matthew didn't record any of that. So we got to go off the basis of this guy who you don't know is asking you to follow him. What do you do if this is your first encounter with Christ? And now God is asking you to follow him and you don't know who he is. You haven't developed a relationship with him for yourself, so you don't know who he is. How do you follow a God you don't know? Are you following, or are you staying in your current situation and trying to go to Matthew, Mark, John, and Luke to figure out who Christ is, giving limited information from Matthew and Mark? They both record the exact same thing. Or do you just follow him? Tap in with me. Let me know what y'all thinking. Until next time, I'm gonna leave y'all with that thought. Can you follow a God you do not know? Given Matthew's account, he did not see it. He did not see the miracle. He did not see what took place behind the crowds. Could you follow him and leave your whole life behind? Because this is basically what Christ was asking them to do. To follow him and leave the life that they knew behind. Tap in.